Okay guys, welcome back. In my previous video, we talked about auto scaling and how we can scale our databases in the AWS infrastructure depending on how much traffic is coming in. So we gave an example of 2015 of the traffic of people using Netflix increasing until 2017, and we increased databases according to how much traffic was coming into the network. So now I want to talk about elasticity. Right, and this is a very important concept to know because I personally was confused. I thought elasticity, as silly as it may sound, expanded, right? I mean, because I thought about a rubber band and I said, okay, elasticity, it expands. However, in the AWS world, elasticity only, and I mean only, means to get smaller, right? Back to its original size, right? Elasticity in the AWS world does not mean expanding, right? Because we already have that term. Expanding, we already use auto scaling, right? Getting bigger. So elasticity is the action of going back to its original size before you auto scaled. So what does that mean? So we originally started off with 2 databases in 2015, correct? So I told you that as traffic would come in, each year we would add more databases. Now let's think about it if we were not using the cloud. If we were not using the cloud and we wanted to readjust and add more databases to our company, we would have to call and have it installed and pay for maintenance. But one thing that's a huge issue is when no one was using those databases, we were still being charged, right? So let me explain that. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? How many people are on Netflix? Who knows, right? But the point is that the number of people that are on Netflix at 3, 4, 2, late night Netflix users, the number of people is going to be very small compared to prime time, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, right? When there's a big show coming on and everyone's ready to watch it. So in order to decrease the costs in the AWS cloud, we use the term elasticity. So the same way how we expanded and auto scaled, right? We added more databases. Now when it is 3 a.m., most people are sleeping, right? We want to shut those databases down that are not being used, right? Let's say that at 3 a.m. in the morning, right, we already have 300,000, right? Let's say at 3 a.m., only 120,000 people are on it. Well, we don't need all 6 of these databases, right, to host 120,000 people. But we want to save money, and the AWS infrastructure allows you to do that. So just like it auto scaled to increase the databases, it will also auto degenerate. Decommission, they say. Decommission means shut off or slowly get smaller back to its normal state. So at 3 a.m., we will shut, let's say, this database off, and this database off, right? So now that we powered them down, we only have 3 working databases just for this traffic at 3 a.m., which means that we won't be charged for the other databases because we shut them off, right? So that's a big deal, cost effective. We never want to use databases and be charged for them when people are not on it. When the traffic is low, we don't want to be charged for the extra databases that are just on. Just think about if your electricity is on all night and no one is in the house and you left all the lights on, right? You're going to be charged for using that light, right? Because you left them on, despite the fact that you're not there using them, right? So I don't know if that was a good analogy or not, but if not, just disregard it and think about that elasticity means scaling in, right? Going back to its normal state or as close to its normal state as possible. It never means expanding, right? Because expanding in the AWS world is already taken by a word, auto-scaling, right? So elasticity is the opposite of auto-scaling. And it does that by shutting down databases that are not needed when the traffic is low. Okay, so we've covered a lot of material, we've covered a lot of key concepts, and in the next video we're going to just do a quick summary of the concepts that we have covered so far. Hope to see you soon.